We're here at the Australian Reptile Park with Dan Rumsey. Dan, can you please tell us a little bit about why it is so important for people to really take care when it comes to their pets and living around snakes?
Well, of course, we live in Australia. We famously like to talk about all the dangerous animals that call Australia home, or the potentially dangerous animals, I should say. And that's not just for people, but also to our nearest and dearest, our dogs. So dog bites with snakes is quite common, more common than what a lot of people would realise.
Now, living on the east coast of Australia, we often come into contact with lots of different types of snakes. This is a harmless diamond python. What are some of the venomous species that people might encounter with their dogs?
Well, just to name a few, something like a yellow-faced whip snake is quite a common snake, but not really that dangerous to dogs. But then when we get to the higher end of the situation, you're talking about tiger snakes, death adders, eastern brown snakes. So it's really important to familiarise yourself with the snakes that are endemic to the area you live in, but also to the venomous species that might live in that area as well.
So say someone's walking along in the bush or down at the local park and they do come across a venomous snake with their dog, what should they do?
So typically if you're walking maybe through the bush, down the beach, and you do encounter a snake, the snake's first reaction is going to want to move away. It doesn't associate you or the dog as food, it sees you and the dog as a potential threat or predator. So it will try and escape or hide from you. Now from that, you actually might see some defensive posturing. So some famous examples would be an eastern brown snake rearing up in that S position. That's not the snake being aggressive, it's actually the snake saying, hey, you're big and you're scary, back away, otherwise I might have to bite.
So, worst case scenario, if your dog was bitten by a snake, what are some of the symptoms you might see or the things you need to look out for to identify that it has been bitten?
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because your dog, generally, if it's healthy and you're keeping a close eye on it, you should be able to pick up on these symptoms straight away because they will feel them quite quickly. They might become nauseous, they might become lethargic, they might be vomiting, diarrhea. If you see any of these signs, you have to treat it seriously. Not only is there potential there's something going wrong with their gastrointestinal tract or something like that, but of course, if you've been out bushwalking, there is a chance it's been bitten by a snake. So always keep an eye out for those kind of signs.
If your dog does start to display some of these signs, what's the first thing you should do?
So make sure you get to the vet as quick as you possibly can. The sooner you react and the sooner you act, particularly when you're dealing with a snake bite, you are going to increase the chances of your dog surviving that bite. Really important, if you do suspect your dog has been bitten by a snake, you need to ensure the dog stays nice and relaxed, nice and calm, and doesn't move around too much. Now we know that the venom will travel through the lymphatic system. The way you activate that is by muscle movement. So you need to keep the dog really relaxed, really still, and of course seek immediate medical attention from your vet.